Good morning, children. Today we will start our other subtopics, that is share of sectors in GDP. The share from which sector, how much GDP we are getting. The base year it is taken for the comparison 1971-72 and 2011 and 12. You can see, children, here 1971-72 the maximum GDP coming from the primary sector. The blue color indicating primary sector, the red is the secondary sector, the green is tertiary sector. The maximum returns are coming from the primary sector, whereas in 2011 and 12 only the 15% GDP coming from the primary sector. Here 25% from the secondary, 30% of the tertiary sector. But if we will compare this and 2011 and 12, we can see the maximum GDP is coming from the tertiary sector. So shifting taken place. First of all, from the primary sector, maximum GDP is coming because the employment is more and GDP is also more. The employment shifted to other sectors. Now it is maximum important gone to the tertiary sector because maximum GDP are coming from the tertiary sector. Now we will go for the further comparison of employment, that is the GDP. GDP now is less in primary sector but more in tertiary sector. That we will keep in our mind. That returns now GDP from primary sector is less and tertiary sector is more. What is where the people are employed, whether in a primary sector more or tertiary sector more, because the GDP from tertiary sector is more. Here you see, children, when we are comparing in 1972 to 73, the employment is 74%. It reduced to employment in the primary sector 49%. The reduction is there. But if we will compare in case of the tertiary sector, the tertiary sector less employment in 1972-73, only 15% people are engaged in tertiary sector. No doubt it is increased, but not proportionately. You can see only the 27% people are working in the tertiary sector. But here in 2011 and 12 also maximum employment seen in the primary sector. But from where we are getting the GDP more? From the tertiary sector. But less percentage of people are engaged in the tertiary sector. Then what picture we are getting here? People are employed more. People are employed more in primary sector in 1972-73 also and 2011 and 12 also. But GDP return, you see, only the 15% GDP is coming from the primary sector. Then where the people's productivities are going? They are all included in the primary sector, but where their productivity is going? Whether they are using their productivity correctly or not. Here the question arises, even though the less people are engaged in tertiary sector, the GDP return is more. It is 58% GDP we are getting from the tertiary sector. It indicating that maximum skilled people are engaged in the tertiary sector, not the unskilled or not the petty job providers are not included under the GDP return. They are totally neglected, like the service providers like hawkers, vendors, cobblers, barbers, repairs. They are the small petty tertiary sector service providers. Those service providers are neglected. They are not included under the GDP. They are not so much developed. But if we will count the development coming of MNC companies, the development of IT sector, maximum people are engaged in the IT sectors, call centers. For this reason, even though percentage of employment is less, the return is more, GDP return is more. But in case of a primary sector, the employment is more, the GDP is less. That means the productivity of the people is not counted here. That means it is giving birth to a different type of unemployment. Due to this reason, one prominent unemployment seen in Indian economy, that is disguised unemployment. The disguised unemployment, prominent, that can be seen. What is disguised unemployment? Is a kind of unemployment in which there are people who are visibly employed. One means the people are visibly employed, but actually they are not employed. That is called the disguised unemployment, or it is also called underemployment, or other name is the hidden unemployment. Three of the same meaning. There seems to be employed, but actually they are not employed. Suppose take one example of a family of farmers. 5 members are there, they are going for their own land for the cultivation. 5 people are working in the same field and sowing in the outside. They are engaged, they are employed, but actually they are not employed. 2 people can do that work where the 5 people are working. If we will shift the 3 people to other activities, the production will not affect it. This type of unemployment maximum seen in Indian economy. And another unemployment is there, open unemployment, when a country's labor force does not get opportunities for a adequate employment. Labor force is there, but work is less. They are not getting the work. It is open unemployment. Everyone can see the workers are ready to do the work, but work is not available. This is open unemployment. How to create more employment? How to create then? That on the basis of the technical and institutional measure. Technical measure to supply the different inputs required for the agricultural purposes. We can engage the people. The second is the institutional support by providing them the storage, providing them banking facility, providing the market outlets. The more transportation, more employment can be generated. Then promotion of allied agriculture. Related to agricultural, other work is there. Sericulture, horticulture, then beekeeping, animal rearing. These are the allied agricultural activities. The people can engage rather than the farming. Then giving the more importance to the small scale industries. Small scale industries and cottage industry. The government should focus on small scale industry by providing the bank credit in a low rate of interest. Then many people can engage with the cottage industry and the small scale industries. The small scale industry they can open in their own village where they will get easily the raw materials. Then by expanding the education and health and tourism in the villages. By expanding the healthcare and tourism sector and the education, the schools, construction of the schools, construction of the roads, construction of the dams, it can digging of the canals. It can provide the maximum people to engage rather than in the farming. So the disguised unemployment people can be shifted to this type of work. So government have provided. So children, today this much in the class. We will come with the next subtopics, the right to work, in the next class. Thank you so much.